Welcome along to Obsession Engineering and the Rapid Honda team. We're at Navarra in northern Spain, and we've been here for a few days because there's been an official BSB test. And I might look slightly tired because it hasn't entirely gone to plan. Let's go back a couple of days. Thursday, day 2 of the test here at Navarra, and things have not gone swimmingly to plan. This morning we made some changes to the bike, found a bit of time straight away, not 0.4 for what we'd done day 1. We were sort of in a good group, and then we had a little issue. And the little issue might have involved the bike being upside down on top of a tyre wall after 100 mile an hour low side. So we are changing a couple of small items after the crash. The engine's got to be changed, the frame's got to be changed, that's the exhaust silencer off it, the back wheel's done, we've dinked a fork out a tube, so that's done as well, and then we'll just have a little bit of a run through some of the other stuff. Usual things, engine cover has done its job. Unfortunately on the other side of the engine it's hit the sump and cracked the sump on it, and the bike's been upside down, and so as a sort of priority thing or safety thing we're doing an engine change so we can check this one out. The frame has bent one of the subframe mounting points, and it's obviously had quite a lot of stress go through it, so we've got a spare, we're going to put it in. So basically we're changing the frame, the engine, the section at the front of the wiring loom took quite a lot of damage because that's the dashboard holder. The dashboard, we actually had to go to the gravel trap and pick it out of the tyre wall. Left hand handlebar is fairly done. Right hand one isn't too bad. Thumb brake's got a bit of gravel rash on it, and all the front wheel speed sensor wiring got ripped out of it. So yeah, a fairly elaborate amount of damage. This one is going to add up fast. It obviously bounced on the rear wheel fairly well, and it bent the rim out a little bit, but if you look in here it's actually split it open like a banana. So rear wheel added to the list as well. Fuel tank is utterly ruined. Right, air scooped, obviously gone. Seat unit has quite a lot missing. Obviously the rear subframe basically folded up, so it's done the rear subframe as well. So this is quite extensive. Basically the bike slid into the gravel trap, then picked up and cartwheeled on top of the tyre wall. So yeah, we're going to be here a few hours today. There are some oddities you find when you're taking apart crashed motorbikes, and inlets full of oil is an oddity. And basically what's happened is, because the bike was sat on its roof, it was sat on its fuel tank upside down on the tyre wall, and the crankcase breather of course breathes into the airbox, so the oil's gone into the airbox and then drained back into the inlets. So yeah, if you tried to start that straight away you'd be into trouble because it'd try and hydraulic it. So yeah, another reason why that one's coming out. So as if by magic, a mere 11 hours after we got it back from upside down at turn 4, we have what looks like a complete bike. It runs, we're just literally down to the tiny little details now of getting the Zeus fasters into the clock bracket so we can do a fairing mount check, because the clock bracket's different and the new fairings going on, and it should all fit. The tank cover is actually down there just getting sort of fixed, so that will go on top of the spare fuel tank. The rear sets are actually the original ones. We've literally changed the plastic bung in one of them. The Spider rear sets are pretty sturdy. This entire handlebar assembly, clutch perch, brake, switch gear, clamp, the lot is new. We built that one up in the workshop before we came out here, so the brake was bled up and everything. We did literally connect to the dry brake and that was good to go. The other side, we've actually rebuilt the original bar. The throttle was okay, the switch was okay. We have had Brembo service the master cylinder just in case, so that's been done. And because I had to bleed up the main brake lines anyway, I decided to keep that master cylinder stuff so that we've still got this side assembly spare. Silencer and link pipe bit is new. That's about it, isn't it, Matt?
I can't remember now. It's a long day.
It is a long day.
It's a long day.
But we're nearly finished, and it's only nearly tomorrow already. Right, and that is it for Thursday, so back to Saturday, where better things are happening. hopefully. But if you would like to join us, a wonderful selection of sponsors and help us pay for some crash damage, I'm sure we can find a wonderful way to get you involved in the team. And please, please, dig deep. We're spending a lot of money. Welcome back to Saturday morning, and we'll just give a quick once over on the bike. So most of it is brand new. We just ignore the tank cover. That turned up very late and is the only one we've got, so it's been fixed. Ish. Right, other things to note on the bike now. We are trying a Bitubo shock. We needed a spare shock. The Öhlins are 5,000 quid for the Superbike spec ones, and they don't do a short version that actually fits in this swinging arm, but Bitubo do. And so we bought that because Bitubo do me good deals because I'm a dealer for them, and we thought we'll try it in the dry first. And then we went faster in the dry on that than we did on the Öhlins, that's 3 times the price. So that at the moment is staying in. The wheels are out of the bike because we have a new system where they live on the tyre rack until literally 2 minutes before we need them, and then we just bring them through and slot them in the bike. And the tyre man looks after all the pressures and temperatures and everything is a bit more controlled and out of the way. We also have a Moto3 bike in the garage for, well, basically until their FP1. This is Harley McCabe's bike, and people who've been watching the videos over winter, we've been training with Harley. We're basically giving them a bit of a hand, and so they're running out of our garage just for like their free practice sessions. So that is a brand new for this year NSF 250 Moto3 bike, British Talent Cup thing, so they are basically all standard and the same. So it's really, really cool, and we just kind of like having it in the garage because it's got some orange on it.
It's been very busy, It's hard work, this Superbike stuff, but it's all good fun. We're getting there. It's all ready to go again. So it's down to Franco to behave himself today.
Mostly because we've got no spares left.
Got plenty of earplugs now, though.
Yeah.
He'll love that.
15-ish minutes before we roll out for FP1. Now, the schedule's a little bit different this weekend. We've only got 2 races on the Sunday, and FP2 is really, really short. It's 15 minutes because everybody's had 2.5 days of testing. The only slight problem with that was we got just into day 2, wrote the bike off, and then basically didn't do anything useful after that. So we are a little bit behind. We've got a new setting in the bike that I think will be better than what we had on the first day of testing, but we're not sure yet because we haven't actually had time to really test it. So FP1 is 40 minutes. The fastest 12 from that goes straight into Superpole, but there is 28 riders, so if I'm honest, I'm not expecting us to go straight to Superpole. It would be very nice if we did get through, but there is like a normal qualifying session for everybody else straight after FP2. Bike is ready to go. Supersports are on track at the moment. Nervous as always. We do have a bit of a plan for the session. It's like what timings we need to do certain amounts of laps and when we're going to put a tyre in it to try and go a little bit quicker to get towards Superpole. And then we've got a bit of an idea with basically ideas with tyres and stuff in the magic black book. I'm sure I should do this sort of thing on a laptop, but sometimes pen and paper is the king. We do have one person missing this weekend. We are minus Pete Boast. He claimed he wanted to go and race a flat track meeting or something, but really it's actually because he's a big softie. After a mere 35 years with Jackie, he finally popped the question they've actually got married. So congratulations to Pete from all of the Rapid Honda team on finally making an honest woman of Jackie. Right, 3 minutes to go. Nervous?
No.
Take that as a yes then.
Myself. I'll be alright really. I've got a time, I know the position that I'm aiming for, and that's where I've got my board, the gap, what I need to be closest to. So I just need to get out, get first run done, chip away at it, and then hopefully the last run is where the speedy laps are going to come in.
I was timing then to get to pit exit to like the arch was 45 seconds. If we get to Superpole, we actually need to know that because they want you to basically roll out a pit lane and get there 10 seconds early before your session so it looks good on telly. So 45 seconds from starting to pull the warmers off to end of pit lane. I can only assume that Matt's using his peripheral vision there. we've won a cameraman. Franco has just got out for like the third run of FP1. At the moment we are in 16th place now. Basically the last few minutes, because this counts who goes through into Superpole, a few people have put fresh tyres in. We put one in a little bit earlier because we realistically didn't actually expect to go straight to Superpole. And then we've got the TV on so we can watch other stuff. He's gone back out. We've not changed anything for the whole session because he's pretty happy with the bike at the moment. And he's not 0.8 of a second off the fastest like we did during testing. So far, stuff is pretty positive. Riders are rolling in after FP1. We finished that session. In fact, I shall look at the screen to be sure. 14th, less than 0.9 off the fastest man in the session. He did his fastest lap 9 laps into a tyre as well, which is good to know. Basically low fuel load, just kept chipping away. We have not changed a click on the bike for that session from the setting that we worked out for the testing. So that is definitely a positive step. He was a bit more focused today, a bit more on it, and it shows. That's Billy in. This will be us in. That's more like it, boy, isn't it?
I don't mind.
Yeah. So FP2 we are going out on the scrub tyres that started qualifying, started FP1 because the rear's done the least, and it's the same front as well, so it just gets used to the bike when it's the second half of the race basically. And this one, we're not pushing for lap times in this one because we know, there isn't any need to in this session. He just needs to basically almost use this as a warm-up before he gets qualifying. Then there is a plan for qualifying, and basically the plan is we could use 2 tyres because the allocation for here is the same as every other round, but we've got one less race, so we've actually got a spare tyre in effect. So we could do a run, a tyre change and another run, but it's only a 15-minute session and it's a decent length lap, and so we've done the calculations and worked it all backwards of if you get every lap bang on, you could do 10 laps. So in effect we can do a 4-lap run. The bit in the middle is going to be an in lap, basically lose a lap doing a wheel change and then an out lap, but of course the in laps and out laps are different lengths, and so your wheel change is going to be about 40 seconds, and then you could get a two flyers at the end. It's tight, and we know Franco goes better after he's done a few laps, so if he's feeling good at like lap 4, then he can just stay out, and then there's no point in coming in because there's nothing to gain. And the crux of this is if we are in the top 3 in Q1, which if you worked at the qualifying sheet from earlier, FP1 sheet, we actually would have been, then we get to go through to Superpole. I mean, we'd like to be in Superpole, because that would just be cool. So there's lots of organising to do with logistics of what tyres are going in the bike at what time. So for FP2 we're on scrubs and we've got a relatively low fuel level, but because we've got such a short turnaround then to qualifying, we need to know exactly how much fuel we're using per lap, and we're using 0.52 kilograms of fuel per lap because we weigh it now. And then we'll take the scrubs out of it, and in that 10-minute window between FP2 and quali we need to do tyres, fuel, just really quick look around the bike. Then he goes out for qualifying, and then we work on the sort of assumption that if he then gets to Superpole we just need to do literally a splash of fuel to do the out lap, the flyer in the in, and then we're back in here. So there's quite a lot of organising, and now Rob wants to start the bike. Go for it, Rob. Nice new t-shirt. A bit more focus today because it means a bit more than when we go testing. So yeah, up to the A game a little bit, haven't we?
Well, we needed to really. Kind of happy run around 20 seconds. So we got stuck in there. 40. Still a bit annoyed to be honest, because I really wanted to get into the Q2 as quick as I can really, because I know there's still a lot of good boys behind me that I need to beat in this session. So it's still not going to be easy at all. But still, every time I come in and get off the bike, I know there's loads of places that I can go faster. There's so much more I can do to go quicker. You know, like when you go through a corner and you come out the other side of it, you think like, could have gone quicker through that. I'm doing that every time I get off the bike, so it's still quite a nice feeling, to be honest, knowing that I've got a lot in the bank. So if I can withdraw everything for this session, that'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Try and get it going.
But yeah, steady FP2 first basically as a warm-up for qualifying.
Yeah, I've had a little problem with a little bit of arm pump on the braking, so if I can just keep myself fresh for the Q2. It's not a long session really, so don't need to go too crazy. Yeah, we'll need to decide whether we're going to change 2 tyres or not, but it'd be nice if we could get through here, wouldn't it?
Oh, it would.
I've chose a song too many times and I've not done a Super Bowl once. I want to do a Super Bowl today.
This is FP2 underway. Here we go. The thing to do in this session is not hoop it. Right, we've pulled in relatively early for FP2 because we're not actually trying any changes, and Franco wants to go into qualifying fresh. So he's had a couple of laps, basically get his eye and get himself warmed up. Franco is ready early. He's got his eye in with this one because we'd really like to get through to Superpole, because that would be a revelation after the week we've had. So we've got 4 minutes before we roll out for qualifying. Yeah, this is exciting. It's tense. I like it. This is kind of why we go motorbike racing. So, plan for this session is he can go out, he can do 4 flyers, and if he wants to come in, he can't go past 4 flyers or we won't have time for a wheel change and a flying lap. So basically it's out lap, 4 flyers, in, really fast wheel change, back out, banging potentially 2 flyers depending on how fast we get the wheel change. So it's up to him. If he's enjoyed himself and he thinks he's got a little bit extra without having a new tyre, he can just stay out for the whole session. Right, bikes are going over the line for the start of the first flyer. Franco was second over the line chasing Josh Brooks. He was quicker than Josh this morning in FP, so hopefully he can use Josh's marker and actually chip a couple of tenths under him. But the next couple of laps are going to be the ones that tell us the real truth. It's tense and it's brilliant. We are slightly annoyingly 4th in the session, and top 3 do Superpole, so we've just missed out on that. But to be fair, the people in front of us are Rory Skinner, Nesbitt, Josh Brooks, and we've got Storm Stacey, Andy Irwin, Danny Buchan, and a few other names behind us, so we're in pretty good company there, I think. And to be fair, Franco normally goes better in a race than he does in quali. So don't get me wrong, we would have loved to have been in qualifying, but being on Wednesday we rode a bike off, I'm calling that a decent success. The faces in the garage look quite glum, which is saying something, being as 2 days ago we had no bike, and we basically qualified 16th in British Superbike, so our first attempt with the Superbike, so it's not going that bad, but Franco knows he could have gone better if we, like the tyre change, the temperature change of the track has caused a bit of chatter, so he's a bit disappointed, aren't you? We'll go better in the race. Right, so we're now into watching the Super Bowl thing, so we've got the TV on there, but if we go to the screen down here, on the screen down here we've got, this is the feed that they give us into the garage, so we've actually seen the lap live, but there's also a countdown timer for the next rider. So they send riders out at 30-second intervals. So basically, they give you a board of who's going to be out next. In fact, 2 minutes, number 60, so it'll be Hickey next in 2 minutes. And then that countdown timer will show Hickman and 30 seconds. So you know exactly when you're supposed to roll out. And the idea is that you get to the end of pit lane with 10 seconds to go. So that basically you literally pull up, stop, light changes, off you go for your out lap. And so you get an out lap, a timed lap and then an in lap, and you can't dawdle or anything on your ins and outs because they'll tell you off for that because they want to keep the bikes equal on track basically. So it's quite a lot of regulation goes into actually just getting bikes going around for Superpole. parc fermé conditions have now finished. Basically, we allowed the bike back in the garage after qualifying, but we're not allowed to touch it, other than you can take the wheels out of it, and that's it. You're not allowed to get the data off it or anything. Rob is on with tinkering. We're looking at a bit of data because there was a bit of like front chatter, and I think it's generated by the fact the track temperature is basically 10 degrees higher than we've had it the rest of the time we've been here, and so it's making the tyre work differently. And so we're looking on here, and there is some slightly bobbly lines on the front, so it's all front and it doesn't appear to be anything rear at all. So we'll come up with a bit of a plan for that for tomorrow. And there's maybe a couple of other little geometry tweaks we're going to try as well for warm-up. But the rest of us are looking at TVs because Harley's out for British Challenge Cup race. So we've got that running. He is currently 7th. I think he qualified 8th, so he's sort of in that mix at the moment. But he needs to sort of be on the back of that lead group to get the toe, because the straights here are long enough that the toe will make a difference. So come on, Harley. A few hours to turn the bike around, and that is a wrap for our first actually competitive day at BSB with a full Superbike. And I'd say it's gone pretty well. We started the day on a setting that we hadn't tested and finished the day 16th on the grid for British Superbike. So we're giving that as a positive, especially as Franco generally goes better in a race than he does in qualifying. For tomorrow, we've got a very slightly different fork setting. We've got a slightly different damping setting. Not a massive change, just a little bit, and a slight change on the preload. There's a tiny tweak to the ride height in the back to see if we can get a little bit more consistent grip out of it by basically increasing the anti-squat a tiny little bit. And we're trying some Moto Coach brake ducts. So the idea is it just funnels a bit of fresh air in and helps keep the caliper cool. We've got some on order, but the boys down at Hawk have loaned us those, so cheers to Steve and the boys down there for letting us borrow a second set. Also thank you to the lads on the other side of the pit garage to us, to McConnell's crew at Fairburns, because, you know, every now and again they'll borrow a tool off us and we'll borrow a tool off them, and it is definitely much easier if you actually get on with your neighbours, so that's always nice too. And so that is definitely it now, and me and Rob are gonna head home and get our heads down because tomorrow is the big important race day. We'll see you then. Morning. Right, race day morning at Navarra. I'll step a bit further away from our surprisingly noisy compressor. It's only little, but it makes a lot of noise. It's like the Jack Russell of compressors. Right, the sun is shining over there because, well, it does that a lot round here, if I'm honest. It's not especially warm yet, which means morning warm-up, when we'd like it to be warm track temperatures to see if the setting changes have got rid of the patter from yesterday. It's not going to happen. So we will undoubtedly go into the first race where the track temperature will be going up, and then get into the same situation again, but same for everybody. So we've got a couple of ideas on it. Literally the last thing Dan's doing on the bike is just bleeding the brakes up this morning. Everything else was done last night. We are basically set and ready to go. Hour and a half to warm up. I might actually sit down for 5 minutes. So just under 2 hours before we're rolling out of pit lane, and we've got a 20-minute gap between pit lane opening and the start of the race today. So we have a bit of time spare. We've been looking at a bit of chassis data stuff, obviously looked at the logging, and more importantly though, we're watching the telly because Harley McCabe is out on the Moto3s. In yesterday's race he managed to get himself up to 5th position, which was a good effort from him, and so today at the moment he's down in 10th, but it is quite early in the race, so we've got high hopes that he can pick himself up a little bit further from there. Right, Talent Cup had a red flag after 4 laps, and so they've been in the pits. And here we go again, time for a restart. Right, so Talent Cup race has finished. It was a shortened race. Unfortunately for Harley, he had a, frankly, shocking start. Went back in the pack and basically got mithered in the pack for the whole race, so was just out of the point. So I'm sure he'll be disappointed with that because we know he's better than that and he knows he's better than that. But unfortunately, sometimes that's the way it works. Right, we are on the grid. We're just waiting for Franco to come around. Matt is going to basically run in front of him down here to guide him to where he needs to be, and then Dan will collect him or not. And that's it, we are on the grid for Superbike. all go. Nerves are kicking in. Franco's been for a normal pee by the barriers. We are ready to go. I'm going to put my camera down, get really focused. Right, bikes are just finishing the warm-up lap. Everybody's pulling up onto the grid. As you'll see down pit lane, all the mechanics are stood with paddock stands and warmers and basically trolleys and everything, so that if there's a red flag or any incident or a delayed start or anything, we can pull straight back onto the grid with everything. But Franco has just ridden past to his grid slot. He was looking pretty focused today, so fingers crossed. We need a race start, we need a decent start, and we know his pace will be good through the race, because he always is. Right, I'm going to watch the start and go find a TV screen. Right, green flag out the back. Wait for the red light on. Oh, that's a quick change. Yeah, it was an average start, I think that. It wasn't anything spectacular. Right, I'm going to go and find my, I'm going to find a screen in my garage, see what's going on. Right. What's going on? We just want to see nothing bad going on. We don't want to see any big incidents or anything. And it doesn't look like he's had a particularly good start. We're mid-pack. We're okay. We're in the race. Right. Let's see if we can settle down a little bit and get my heart rate back under control. Basically mid-race now, and we're currently in 15th. Are you feeling incredibly happy and confident?
I am actually. He's got the pace. We know he did his best lap in qualifying on lap 9, so we know he's got good pace on a tyre. That didn't sound good. He's got good pace on a tyre, and now it's just about him managing the race from here. But yeah, you wait all this time. We've been here, 8-9 days. You want to get the race done, and you hate every second of it until it's over, and then you love it again.
Right, this is turning into a proper scrap now. We're still in 15th. Lee Bob Jackson is 6 seconds in front of us. Decent man to have in front of you. But we've got basically us, Andy Irwin and McConnell within point nothing of a second. They were pretty much neck and neck over the line. We are a little bit down on top speed against them. And it's literally sector by sector. Andy's been more consistent with his laps, which you'd expect from a BSB race winner. Yeah, this is a race, this is. Just to be scrapping with them boys is doing all right. Right, we've just crossed the line in 17th place. Where were we in the end? Like 3 seconds off the back of Andy Irwin. McConnell got the tail. I suspect there's a bit of, obviously going to be quite a lot of tyre wear. And probably quite a bit of rider fatigue, because we've not really done any long runs because we've had a rather disrupted week. So, to be honest, 17th in our first race on a Superbike, I will take that. It'd be nice if we get towards points later, but, you know, 1 place behind Andy Irwin. Good effort, Franco. Right, a few minutes after the race, and had a little debrief basically, and it was the last few laps were hard work, weren't they?
To be honest, I'm happy. That could have been a 15th, in my opinion. It should have been. It's no excuse. Arm pump, is it? But that is what it is. We had arm pump and dropped a few positions in the end. I had a really good rhythm going, actually, until Andy came past me. That upset me a little bit once he got past, and Billy. But yeah, I'm happy, really. It's just a bit annoying because I know the second race is going to be that, but just as hard. So we are going to. The reality is we are going to struggle in this one. The good thing is we know we've got pace. We do have pace to be fighting for that top 10, really, just outside of top 10. I think we do have that. And he got himself sorted out a bit with this arm, really, because to be honest, that's the longest I've been on a bike in a long time. So yeah, well, I am happy because I beat some good riders. I was only just behind Andy Irwin, who everyone knows is a great rider. So
We're in the mix, aren't we?
We're in the mix. I'm happy. I'm disappointed, but happy.
Yeah, that'll do.
Spot on.
Out with Harley, out the back of our garage. Just finished the third race of the weekend, so you've had a fifth, 17th, which with a toasted clutch, and then back up to 9th in the last one. So, give us your thoughts.
Not great. It's all right. Points, and then I had to start right back in third race, so just to get even more points is all right. We take it. It's not worst I've had. Well, it probably is, to be fair, but hopefully I'm better at Donington.
Yeah, so we know you're capable of going a bit more than that. We know some of the lads at the front of that class have been here quite a lot before, which gives them an advantage, but we know you go better at Donington.
Yeah, Donington's more familiar, and I don't know, we can push straight away, don't we? And we had to learn it for first day here and held us back a bit. But other than that, I'm happy I got points. At least I didn't crash.
Only a couple of minutes till pit lane opens for race 2, and what we've changed to the bike is almost nothing. We did a fuel calculation for the first one. Obviously you recalculate after the first race, and we can afford to actually run a little bit less fuel, so we've got a little bit less weight in the tank, but we've not actually changed anything else on the bike because it's all working and he's happy with it, and so realistically we know we have sort of points pace. It's just a case of actually, fighting through and doing it. So Franco's happy with the bike, we leave it. That's made our lives pretty easy. P18 on the grid for this one. A little rundown of what everybody does on the grid while Franco's run off to go for a pee, because we have quite a lot of time on the grid. Dan is on front wheel, so he's done front warmer, checked the front render out, and he's basically just keeping a bit of the wind off it. Jez has the laptop plugged in and literally checking the data from like the sensors and stuff on the out lap to make sure everything's actually reading correctly. Claire's making the place look good and holding the brolly. Rob has already done a rear wheel change because we rolled to the grid on a scrub tyre, then put the race tyre in, so that's about 30-second stuff, and Matt just paces around looking nervous. Right, you just smashed your on-grid espresso, ready for it?
I'm just pure class, aren't I? Just so classy.
There's none of this energy drink nonsense, it's just coffee, isn't it?
Oh, it's just a nice coffee to settle my nerves before I go out. But yeah, no, we're in good company really around here. We've got Danny Buchan, Andy Irwin, Dean Harrison, Josh Brooks there, so we can't complain too much really, but the thing is we need to beat them.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm myself at the minute. Just because I know I need to beat them.
Nervous?
No, I keep telling you I'm not nervous.
It's
nervous.
It's better once you've had an outlap and at least got your eye in a bit, isn't it?
Yeah, this is the worst bit to be honest. Sat on the grid, it's just looking at the talent around us to be honest, thinking, bloody hell,
we're doing all right.
I'm racing with these boys. So and then knowing that, if I don't beat them, I'm going backwards. I don't want to.
So that's
the only thing. I'm not bothered about what happens. I just want to do good. That's why I get so nervous, because I want to do better than I'm doing. So
damn right.
We'll try and do it, eh?
Yeah, right. Get in the zone then. Let's have a smasher of first lap.
Spot on.
So, bikes are just filtering back onto the grid. They've done the warm-up lap. It's pretty much all down to them now. The wind, if you can see the flags, the wind has really, really picked up. So there might be an effect, especially at turn 1, which is basically flat in 6th gear. So it's ballsy through there. But it hopefully will keep the track temperature down a little bit. Fingers crossed for the next 20 laps. Lights on. Go! Right, start of lap 2. Fraser Rogers just had a real big at turn 4 where it wrecks your bike. The bike's in bits. He's up, so that's the good thing. Hopefully they can clear the wreckage and they can just yellow flag that bit and they don't have to red it. Ooh, yeah, that was a big one.
It's nerve-wracking, this business, isn't it? It really is. No matter how many times you do it, it always gives you goosebumps and you're nervous. But that's why we do it, I think. We just love it, don't we?
Right, that was a battle of attrition for him, really. Pace even from the start was a bit lower than this morning, and he was chipping away and he was basically fighting with Storm for a few laps, and Storm was just putting tenths into him. We ended up 16th. So, it's good. Top 20s to start the season is decent. The bike's not missed a beat all like the important race weekend. So he has done well, he has dug in. It would just have been lovely to get that first point. But that'll have to wait till next time. Right, back in the garage, we've started taking stuff down and you've seen Grandma already, so the world's not a bad place, is it?
It was all right. I would like to have beaten Storm, but yeah, we knew it was going to be hard. I mean, my arms are a bit big here, really. But yeah, wanted to one better. Be nice to be in the points, but we didn't. We've got something to build on now. 2 races finished. So yeah, I'm happy. I'm not happy again, but I'm happy.
But it's good.
Unless I'm not in the top 5, I'm not going to be happy. So
yeah.
that's a good thing to push us to the top 5, isn't it?
Yeah, and the thing is, we haven't come here to ride around not scoring
No.
points.
And the thing is, we didn't have a bike a few days ago, or a bike that worked particularly well.
Yeah.
And we've got that now, and I can push it. I've got front end feel back, got confidence back, which I've never ever had for a long time. So yeah, there's lots of positives to take away. I would have liked to have gone with Billy. That would have been another thing I wanted to take away, but I didn't. So, but yeah, I mean, everyone's sort of happy, but everyone's sort of...
We're all having that thing where it was so close to scoring our first points.
Yeah.
On a full Superbike.
Yeah.
And we know we're all capable of doing
Yeah.
it. We've just got to put all the last little pieces together, haven't we?
Yeah, I mean, the finer little things, I can just blame on you. So that bike wasn't right.
It's all right, because I'm doing the same to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm happy, really.
Yeah.
Happy.
And that is a wrap for BSB Round 1 and our Spanish adventure. It's a positive that we're disappointed with being 16th in British Superbikes, but we know we've got more pace. We know we can get into the points and push towards the top 10, and that is a real positive. And so next stop will be Alton Park. So thank you for watching, and join us again when it'll probably be raining.